Bob asked me to do a quick overview of the immatures of skippers for his talk, to complement his talk. So we'll just go through, I'm going to go through very quickly here, but we can start off with spread-wing skippers. We have 11 species of spread-wing skippers, and Bob's going to be talking about the adults, but just take note that the spread-wing skippers can quickly be identified because they land with their wings out flat. All skippers have the recurved antennae, and spread wings have their wings out flat. You don't need to memorize these, but this is just a quick list of the host plants that spread-wing skippers use. And the thing to notice here is that there's a lot of plants. There's a lot of variety in these plants. There's trees, there's shrubs, there's all kinds of herbs, there's vetches and lotus and strawberry and cinquefoil and clover. All these different plants are all used by our spread-wings. And again, there's only 11 species of spread-wings. So just about every species uses something different than the other spread-wings. This is one of the kinds of spread-wing eggs. There's a lot of variety in this group of skippers. This is the kind of, they call this an inflated barrel shape. It doesn't really look like a barrel, but you can see generally this is the bottom, and it has big, strong ribs. Here's another type. This is one of the dusky wings, and has these very intricately ornamented ribs. Quite a pretty little egg. This is one of our most unique eggs, the common city wing. This is a tiny egg. The city wing is a small butterfly, but these little eggs are laid on chenopod's or goosefoots, and there's kind of a reddish cast to the green in these plants, and it's real easy to overlook these eggs. You can be looking right at them and not see them. But it's one of the most uniquely shaped eggs that we have in all of our butterflies. Here's a typical spread-wing larva. This is the mature larva of the same one we just looked at. It came out of one of these eggs. Skipper larvae, by and large, get big. They get much bigger than you'd expect for the size of the butterflies. And this is quite a large one. And when it gets ready to pupate, it'll start shrinking, and then the pupa will be about only half as long as the size of this mature larva. That's pretty typical. All skippers have a collar. Some of them are distinctly colored, like this one. Most of them are actually either white or black, but that's real typical of skippers. They have a collar. Here's another type. This is one of our cloudy wings, or our only cloudy wing, and again, there's that distinct collar. This is a mature larva. You can see this one is on a type of lotus, a vetch type plant. The dusky wings have shaped faces. They're pretty well identifiable by the shape of the head capsule. This one's kind of a modified heart shape, and then the pattern of dark on brown or dark on light also helps you to identify our 4 species of dusky wings.
Do you know how well they see through those capsules?
The sensory organs for caterpillars are real rudimentary. I don't know that you can really say they see. They can sense light, some of their sensory organs are actually in their body, not so much in their head capsule. But they don't really have eyes per se in the head capsule. So, no, I don't. Here's an interesting skipper larva. This is a silver spotted skipper, one of our most ornate larvae. This one is in the process of molting. This is the 4th instar. It's going to molt the 5th instar. And you can see all these bright colors. There's fuchsia and orange, red, black, yellow. It's quite a colorful larva. What's happened here is this instar larva has pulled its head out of the head capsule. It's pulled it back, and this head capsule is now vacant. This big bulge here in the neck is the new head capsule that's going to burst out when this thing molts. And actually, these orange things, that's false eyes that these things have. And when it pulled its head out of this capsule, this used to have false eye spots here, but as soon as it pulled its head out, they went black. So this is a larva that's in transition can pop out to the 5th instar. All of our skippers, I was thinking about this when I was preparing the talk, I believe all of our skippers make nests, all of our larvae make nests, which is far from the case with all the other butterflies. Many of our butterfly larvae do not make nests of any kind, but I think all of our skippers do. And these are the nests of silver-spotted skipper. These are little first instars, and this is Lotus crassifolius from over by Aggie's cabin on the Tahuya Peninsula. And here's one little nest, and here's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. They're fairly common when you find a plant that's had a lot of eggs laid on it. And here's another type of nest. This is one of our checkered skippers. And this is on a strawberry. It just folded the leaf over and tied it in place with a bunch of silk webbing. Other skippers, well, I'll be getting into the grass skippers later. Here's a typical pupa of our spread-wing skippers. When you look at them from the front, from the head, it looks like a baby seal's face. I don't have a head-on picture, but they have a real unique-looking little face with the eyes and the mouth, and they're kind of cute from the front. Here's another pupa. This is a silver-spotted skipper. This is kind of a unique one. We're actually below the pupa and looking up, and this is a hanging pupa. This is a nest that's made out of lotus, and I've cut away half of it so we can look in and see this pupa. And it has this loose swing around its body, and it's hanging in that. And at this end, it's just attached at the tip here with the cremaster. And the pupa doesn't actually touch the nest. It's hanging in space inside of this loose leaf nest. And that's a real interesting kind of pupa that we see, as far as I know, only in the silver-spotted skipper and in the northern cloudy wing, just 2 species. The grass skippers are a larger group. There's 17 species. We only have 11 spread wings. They're also called monocot skippers. And they typically hold they always hold their wings in one of 2 patterns. This one has its wings over its back vertically, and otherwise they will hold their wings in this kind of position where the hind wings are horizontal and the fore wings are up at about a 45-degree angle. But they never rest with all of their wings out flat like the spread wing skippers do. So you can tell at a glance if you have a grass skipper or a spread wing skipper.
Dave, is there a term used to describe that posture?
Jet fighter? That's right.
What did you say?
I don't know unless it's
Jet fighter. That's
jet fighter. F-15, whatever. Here's the host plants for grass skippers. Kind of a different list. Trees and shrubs, not. Monocots, which is grasses. They feed on grasses and sedges. All 15 species of them. They're kind of monotonous that way.
Are they all different, or they very often can use the same kind of grasses?
Yeah, they're not terribly. You can rear skippers on a variety of grasses. As far as which ones will the female lay her eggs on, they tend to be a little selective. And in many cases, we don't really know that precisely what their host plants are, because grasses are really difficult to identify. And so a lot of these species, a lot of these butterflies will have their grass identified to genus, but not the species. So it's just a tough area to really figure out exactly what their host plants are. This is a real typical egg. They're flat on the bottom, and they're kind of round dome shaped. They can be smooth, they can be textured like this one. Sometimes they'll develop color patterns as they mature, as in the Pontiac skipper here, one of our Pleiades skippers. The dun skipper, just before it's ready to, it doesn't look like there's any larvae in there, but it's just about ready to pop here. And they develop this blood red ring on the bullseye just before they hatch. European skipperlings, an introduced species, and it's coming down from Bellingham. It's also entering the state over in Ponderay County, and they have a real unique egg that looks a little bit like a sore throat tablet. They line these up inside of a grass blade, and then in my experience, rearing these things at home, in my experience, as the grass blade grows out dries out at the end of the season, it rolls over and encases it in a tube. So they have this nice capsule that the eggs are in until the next spring when they hatch. Here's a typical grass skipper or a grass skipper larva. This one is ready again to, I believe this is the final instar, fifth instar, so I think this one was ready to pupate rather than molt to the next instar. But you can see it here again, this big swollen neck. That's a good indication that something's just about ready to happen. But again, they have a dark head and they have this real distinct collar and this big kind of, well, of course the body's segmented. Here's a segment line and another one and another one. But they also have these little rolls or folds in between each of the segments.
What's the site name on that one again? Genus at least?
This is a Hesperia Colorado, this one. Or Hesperia comma, I'm sorry, this is Hesperia comma, Manitoba, yeah. We do have some larvae that are much more elongated. This is, again, there's our important species, European skipperling. Long, slender body, and we have a couple other species of grass skippers that have a similar body shape. This is one of our Pleiades skippers. Again, it looks a lot like the Hesperia we just looked at, a big, heavy larva that turns pretty dark when it's mature. This one has a black and white collar, so it's a little bit different. Here's another of our very slender larvae. This is our dun skipper, again, the one that had the red-ringed egg. This is Euphes vestris, quite a distinct larva. And this is a nest of a grass skipper. There are two kinds of nests. There's, as I indicated here, there's aerial nests and what I call basal nests. Aerial nests are not floating in the air, but they're above ground. And they can be, most often they're a blade of grass or a sedge or something of the sort, and the larva is vertical in that blade, and they wrap the blade around and little stitches, these little horizontal stitches. Nice tiny little stitches, but this is one of the basal nests. They're pretty messy. They're just a cluster of grass blades all tied together. There's a larva inside of there. This one looks like it's above ground, but in nature they'll be right down at the ground level at the base of the grass. Very, very difficult to find. The aerial nests are typically pretty easy to find. Here's a pupa. This is the woodland skipper, very common species. Not too much to say about it. It's a little bit squarish at the head and otherwise it's kind of a round pupa. Here's another skipper very closely related to the woodland. This is the yellow skipper. And again, you can see that it's been encased in this is a giant reed, the Phragmites leaf, and it's had it rolled over and it's pupated inside there. Here's the whole head capsule of the larva. And you can see it's secreted some white material. A lot of our skippers do that. And that white material is like a waxy substance that makes them waterproof. And so anyway, so this gives you an idea of the nest that this one pupated in. Here's the European skipperling, kind of a unique pupa with a funny little projection here. You can see it has a tie down here to stabilize it while it's waiting to eclose. And the Arctic skipper, this was actually not a grass skipper, but I lumped it in because they eat grass. But this is one species, Cardocephalus, which belongs to a different subfamily. We have three subfamilies of skippers: the grass skippers, the spread-wing skippers, and this group, which doesn't have a real good common heteromalpiny, but you might have to remember that. And here's the den skipper again. It is one of our grass skippers, kind of a unique pupa, kind of sawed off in one end, kind of an ugly little pupa that's was rolled in a leaf. This is one of David James's pictures, and this is the Propertius dusky wing on Gary Oak. And you can see all these, see this little nest here and another nest and another one. And here's some eggs that haven't hatched yet. And so this is, they feed only on Gary Oak, and when you find the nest, you can see all these leaves have been skeletonized by the larvae. So that's just another indication of one of the patterns of nests you might see. So that's all I have on a quick introduction to the Immatures. And Bob's going to talk about the mature larvae here.